Hey everybody, it's me again. This is Truck coming your way with an interesting video. This video is actually specifically catered towards women, although only 2.7% of my demographic are women. But you younger guys, you understand where I'm coming from. And today this video is about encouraging women to actually learn how to shoot and actually get in the gun. Brothers, if you have a female in your life, your mom, your sister, your girlfriend, your wife, a close acquaintance friend that's a single mother that's married, or their husband's always at work at night on the third shift or second shift, please show this video to those ladies so they can actually understand I can actually explain to them why they need a gun. Okay, the first reason is obvious reason. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'4", over 300 pounds. Now, if I were to actually, come into your house and some ill intentions as a sex offender, there's not much you can do to me without a gun. You can grab a knife, but quite honestly, it's not going to do much for me because I'm just going to take it from you. But a gun, and I always tell women this, I always tell the women that I take shooting this, a gun is the almighty equalizer. It's always been known as that. And the reason why, even though as big as I am, if you have a gun, I don't care if it's a 25 automatic, a 22, a 380, 357, or 500 Smith & Wesson, I do not want to be shot. And no criminal wants to be shot. And for that reason, I don't care if you're a female, I don't care if you're in a wheelchair, I don't care if you got one trigger finger to pull that trigger. That's all you need. Because you actually, with that gun, turn yourself into a giant. You made me look like a 5'0" midget compared to you in the wheelchair with a gun. You're the giant. It turns the tables on people. So, ladies, if you're like scared of having a gun and all that kind of stuff in the house with children, I understand that. But you have to remember, being a responsible gun owner is actually educating everyone in your house about the gun, even your small children. I have a friend of mine that was a retired Philadelphia police officer. He was a sergeant. He was on highway patrol. The boot cops and everything. And what he did was, while we were in graduate school together, what he did was he took a child cam, he laid his SIG on his bed, and unloaded, of course, and he actually videotaped his son in the room with his gun laying on his bed. And he did it for a reason, because he had taught his son how to take apart his gun. The son was only 5 years old. He taught his son how to take apart a gun and clean it at 5 years old. So when he left the room, he videotaped his son, and his son never went near the gun. Why? Because there was no curiosity. He knew what it was. He knew he wasn't supposed to touch that gun unless an adult was around present and gave him permission to touch it. And that's how you actually educate your children to avoid all these gunshots. The NRA, years ago, back in the 80s, when I was growing up in the 70s and 80s, there was always a lot of gun accidents in the home with children, involving children. So what the NRA did is they did a study, and they came out with an Eddie Eagle program, where they actually have Eddie Eagle go around to all the different schools to educate the children what to do. You see a gun, you stop, you turn around, you go get an adult. And with that, you see that the accidents with guns with children, have actually been reduced significantly. You rarely hear about that on the television anymore, but back in the 80s and the 70s, you used to hear about it once, maybe twice a month. So they reduce it. That's how you avoid your children having the accident. Two, have a gun. If you have a little handgun, I suggest you get a small handgun. Um, One of the guns that I always suggest is, for some women, is a 38 special, something small. Even though it's only 5 shot, the reason why I suggest it, because it doesn't require a whole lot of training like an automatic. Now, of course, you need to do range time. You need to get good at what you do in the practice, but it's actually an easy gun for you to actually shoot, and it's very simple to operate, very reliable. You don't have to worry about mag changes. You don't have to failure to fees, failure to fire, all these different kinds of things, stove piping, all this kind of stuff. So what you do is you find a gun, one that is comfortable. Now, I do have a friend that lives in California. She has a 38 special. She actually has a Colt Diamondback that her grandfather left her, but she has very small wrists. And because she has very small wrists, it's very difficult for her to shoot that gun because it hurts her wrist. So, if you have small wrists, I suggest you go into the 32 automatic or 380 because it'll have a lot less recoil and a lot less trauma to your wrist. Because nobody wants to go to the range, and go shooting and have their arms and their hands hurting all night, unless you're just going out there to have fun and shoot a Smith and Wesson 500 to hear the cannon go off. All right. Number two, I respect you ladies because out of all the people I've taught how to shoot over the years, I've been taking people to range for over 30 years. Well, almost 30 years, like 29 years. Um, it's women are the most enjoyable people I've ever taught or ever brought to the range because you've all had a healthy dose of fear of guns. And that is a good thing. Do not be afraid. Well, do not let that fear stop you from experimenting and getting to know a gun because every guy I had taught children, youth, children, adults, and the teenage boys are the worst because they come in like, hey, I play Fortnite or I play Dungeons and Dragons with guns or whatever the games they be playing, and then they come in, thinking they snipers. True story. I even had one group. They came in. It was like three of them. They came into the range. Talking about, oh yeah, I'm a, this, that, and other. They had all the stats and all that on the gun. What kind of guns I had. They knew more about the guns than I did. Some of my guns than I did. Right. So to get in the range, they were so scared. When we got in the range, they walked in together like this and was moving like a cartoon, moving side to side. And that's the point where I said this is going to be a good experience because they need to learn how to respect the gun. Because once that bullet is out, it's out. It ain't coming back. It has no eyes, no friends. It's going to go wherever it's headed to, and that's it. So the healthy dose of fear with guns is a great thing. I've had men and women, like I said, and the women that have a healthy dose of fear, they listen to everything an instructor tells. Now, you may not be comfortable having a male teach you, then go find a female to teach you, because I'll have actually a couple links that are going to be attached to this video to actually point you in a direction of some ladies that actually go around the country and teach classes to female only so that you can learn in a female only environment instead of having to worry about Sergeant Slaughter standing in front of the class. This is a pistol. No, don't do that. Yelling at you and acting all crazy. You know what I'm saying? Men, we can take that because we used to our fathers, talking to us like that. And it's like, okay, this is cool. I can take this. I like this. We're learning here today. But what I want you to do is be encouraged, like having a gun in the house. It doesn't mean you have to sit around the house and twirl it on your finger like you're Clint Eastwood or Jack Palance. You don't have to do that. What you do is you look at the gun as a tool. It's a simple tool, and that tool is actually there to protect you and your children and your house, especially if you're a single female with children or you're actually your husband's away from work. You need to take his gun if he doesn't have a gun and learn how to shoot it. Because it's your responsibility to take care of yourself and protect yourself and your children. The police, they'll get there depending on where you live, anywhere from 15 minutes and under. That's too much time. That's too much time. It does not take too much time to hurt you, hurt your children, kidnap you, or kill you. It doesn't take time. It takes seconds, less than seconds for a bullet to hit you. You know, um, so you want to get a gun. You look at it as a spare tire in your car. Look at it as a extinguisher, a fire extinguisher in your car. Look at it in that way instead of, oh, there's terrible things in the house. Get a gun, buy a little gun safe, throw it in the closet, lock it up, or a briefcase. You can even put it in a briefcase with a combination of lock. Throw it in the closet, and so you know where it is. Go shooting once a month, every other month, whenever time you can afford it. Go in groups, try to get a group rate at the deal at the gun range, because a lot of gun ranges actually encourage women to the utmost to come shoot. They really encourage you. They will actually teach you how to shoot when you buy your first gun. I've seen it. Gun ranges go out of their way try to help women with guns. They will actually, if you want to learn the right caliber for you, that's comfortable for you, a lot of gun ranges actually, they actually, we call rent guns, $10 an hour. So I encourage you again. Thank you, fellas, for sharing this with your ladies. If they have any questions, ask me, or just ask them to ask you some questions. Because you guys know about guns. You know what I'm saying? So just hit me up later in the comments section. I thank you for all the positive comments again. I was only expecting the channel to get 10,000 subs for the year. That was my goal. I'm at almost 17,000. Thank God for all of you. Thank you for subscribing. Please like and share this video. And again, remember always that tomorrow's not promised, but eternal life is to everyone, every man on earth and a woman. In the name of Jesus, I pray. God bless you.